Please, listener, wake the fuck up.
Why do you think it's important for young men, especially, to work out?
Yeah, I think like kind of some of the things that I hit on as far as like being introduced to suffering, learning how to deal with pain and the emotions that come with that. I just think it's incredibly formative. I mean, like, even outside of a side of it from like literature, like looking at all the benefits that you get for, like improvement in, like metabolic health and, like all the physiological stuff that comes within that. It's, I think all that stuff is super great. But I think even, I feel like part of this question is kind of looking at it from like a developmental perspective. It's like giving you tools to, just like
giving you a toolkit for life.
Yeah, like being able to challenge yourself, create confidence, learn a new skill. I just think it's incredibly important. Like something that I've held as a value is like, even if my kid, my son or daughter, doesn't want to play a sport that I loved, like my rule will still be to find something physically active to be a part of. And to me, it's like I don't care if it's dance, I don't care if it's
golf,
swimming, golf, like, I want you to have an activity and I want you to incorporate fitness that improves your enjoyment and ability around that, So it's like, sure, I would kind of have some sort of expectation of some sort of resistance training system, It doesn't have to be what I do. It's like, the goal is the health, but, especially for young men, I think it's just very important to like build that confidence. I think it's important to build that foundation for, knowing that you're capable of doing things, knowing that if things are hard, that doesn't mean they're impossible,
Yeah, knowing you're capable of greatness, really. And I think it's so important for young people to work out for basically because you can see the incremental progress.
Yeah, it's so fun, especially at a young age.
It's so satisfying,
it's so
too.
Fun. Yeah,
like, dang, I'm actually like, I'm putting myself first and I'm getting better. Like, I think it's huge and for confidence.
Oh, I agree. And I think for me, like, I guess if there was something that I think is important to deliver on behalf of this is like, for all of the people that are our age that are listening to this right now and like maybe starting a family, maybe intending to start a family, like what so many people miss, and this is on that side of like the sports psychology, is that the success or failure of a child being able to incorporate fitness in their life in the early years of adolescence relies so heavily on the parents' ability to facilitate and nurture that in a healthy way. And what we've actually seen in that relative field of sports psychology is that there's become a huge problem with these parents that are so over hyper competitive over their children, whether it be they're living vicariously through them or because they want their kid to succeed so bad that they're imparting something that kid doesn't even want. They have done hundreds, probably thousands, but I can comfortably say hundreds of surveys within those populations of children with sports participation, asking what is the reason to participate in a sport. And you know what the number one is? Male, female, across the board, it doesn't matter. Every time, every sport, it's enjoyment. It's fun. If the game is not fun, if the kids are not having fun, they will grow to hate it every time. Wow. And that creates a problem when you get down the line and there are people that are our age or that are adults that absolutely hate anything training related. Because at a really young age, they were conditioned to absolutely despise it, So that's one of those hard things where it's like I'm sure like I talked to so many people that had like that tough influence as a kid, over sports performance, but there's a fine line that you have to dance with it, and it's like if you are making the process insufferable, that kid is gonna hate it.
And it's probably going to resent you.
And and it's like it's bad for the child-parent relationship. It's bad for the kid's relationship with their self-image and with the sport and with like all of the really, really good benefits that could come out of doing that. There's such an easy way to take that all away and ruin it. And part of that comes from exposure too. Like if you were sitting there and your kid is the best baseball player, but all you want him to do is play basketball and he sucks at basketball, that's also a hard thing.
Yeah.
Stop making a square peg try to fit in a round hole.
Yeah, it's really selfish if you think about it too.
Yeah.
You know, speaking from, experience, like my dad, he played college baseball. He got drafted in the MLB, and me or my brothers, none of us play baseball.
Yeah.
And he never forced it on us.
Yeah.
And I love him so much for that, because
That's huge. Yeah.
I can't predict like how I would have done or anything like that, or how I would feel about him if he forced me to do something I didn't want to do.
Yeah.
And it's just not the person he is, but that's huge. But then you get into the conversation of like the Kobe Bryants, the Serena Williams.
Yeah.
Like where they were
The Tiger Woods.
The Tiger, where they were pushed, it's like the diamond in the rough. You gotta, and so you think about it like,
so I agree with that. I think the biggest differentiator with that is like listening to the feedback mechanism of that. So it's like, if your kid, and I think that like those people that you just listed are anomalies. Like there's a reason why they are the best at what they do, So I think part of taking that into consideration is like, sometimes that system is going to work. Like I said, nothing's an absolute, but like,
be realistic.
Yeah, be realistic, and also understand that, your kid might not be the next Tiger Woods. That's a pretty high bar to set. But if your kid loves golf and you want to support in that, and I even referring back to what I said earlier, are they soft with soft love, soft with hard love, hard with hard love, hard with soft love? Listen to the things that your kid is going to pick back on, and also realize that a lot of times your child is an image of you. So, it's like if you're constantly getting out there and something goes wrong and you get frustrated, there are things that outside of what they've already genetically inherited, because, they've actually been able to see that there are lots of traits that are heritable within behavioral patterns that children exhibit. So, you got to be aware. Being parents like a hard thing, dude. Like people, I think people undermine what that commitment is. And it's like, dude, you are literally creating and raising a person. And there is a huge determining factor in your ability to do that turns that person into a successful contributing member of society or a number.